Welcome to Act 2 of Moliere's Tartuffe, performed, assistant directed, stage managed, and production managed by Clemson University students enrolled in the acting ensemble class during the spring 2020 semester. You might ask why we chose Tartuffe. And as much as I love Molière and his works, it was the students who really drove this choice. Last year, I taught a section of Acting 3, which is our acting styles class, where we deal with things like the Restoration and Royal era, so things like Molière, as well as early realism and some Shakespeare. And it was during working on the Royal era, where students were doing scene work and monologues from Molière, that our students really fell in love with this play, and they began to knock on my door and send me messages asking, hey, for acting ensemble, would you do Tartuffe? And then, of course, I read the text again and thought it served as a great challenge for our young actors. And it also was a great ensemble piece. So that is why we chose Tartuffe for our acting ensemble class. And now I hope you enjoy Act 2.
Yes, I love you, and it's not a spoof. I love you now, I love you, Tartuffe. I always have, always will, always, always, always. Marianne!
Yes, Father.
A word with you, come here.
What are you looking for?
Eavesdroppers, dear. Someone in there could hear our every word. Aha! Oh. Good, we're safe. Now, Marianne, my child, you are a sweet girl who's tractable and mild, whom I hold dear and think most highly of.
I'm deeply grateful, Father, for your love.
That's well said, daughter. And you can repay me if in all things you'll cheerfully obey me.
To please you, sir, is what delights me best.
Good, good. Now, what do you think of Tartuffe, our guest?
I, sir?
Yes. Weigh your answer, think it through.
Oh, dear. I'll say whatever you wish me to.
That's wisely said, daughter. Say of him then that he's the very worthiest of men, and that you're fond of him, and that you would rejoice in being his wife if that should be my choice. Well?
What?
What's that? Well?
Forgive me, pray.
Did you not hear me?
Of whom, sir, must I say that I am fond of him and would rejoice in being his wife, if that should be your choice?
Why of Tartuffe?
But Father, that's false, you know. Why would you have me say what isn't so?
Because I am resolved it shall be true. That is my wish should be enough for you.
You can't mean, Father.
Yes, yes. Tartuffe shall be allied by marriage to this family, and he's to be your husband. Is that clear? It's a father's What are you doing in here? Is curiosity so fierce a passion with you that you must eavesdrop in this fashion?
There's lately been a rumor going about, based on some hunch or chance remark, no doubt, that you mean Marianne to wed Tartuffe. I've laughed it off, of course, as just a spoof.
You find it so incredible.
Yes, I do. I won't accept that story, even from you.
Well, you'll believe it when the thing is done.
yes, of course. Go on and have your fun.
I've never been more serious in my life.
Ha!
Daughter, I mean it. You're to be his wife.
No, don't believe your father. It's all a hoax.
See here, young woman.
Come, sir, no more jokes. You can't fool us.
How dare you talk that way?
All right, then. We believe you, sad to say.
I'm master here, as you must not forget.
Let's discuss this calmly. Don't be upset. You can't be serious, sir, about this plan. What should that bigot want with Marianne? Praying and fasting ought to keep him busy, and then in terms of wealth and rank, what is he? Why should a man of property like you pick out a beggar's son-in-law?
That will do. Speak of his poverty with reverence. His is a pure and saintly indigence which far transcends this worldly pride and pelf. He lost his fortune, so he says himself, because he cared for heaven alone, and thus was careless for his interests here below. I mean to get him out of his present straits and help him recover his estates, which in this part of the world have no small frame. Poor though he is, he's a gentleman just the same.
Yes, so he tells us, and sir, it seems to me such pride goes very ill with piety. Doesn't it seem to you a trifle grim to give a girl like her to a man like him? When two are so ill-suited, can't you see what the sad consequence is bound to be? A young girl's virtue is imperiled, sir, when such a marriage is imposed on her. For if one's bridegroom isn't to one's taste, it's hardly an inducement to be chaste. And many a man with horns upon his brow has made his wife the thing that she is now. It's hard to be a faithful wife, in short, to certain husbands of a certain sort. And he who gives his daughter to a man she hates must answer for her sins at heaven's gates. Think, sir, before you play so risky a role.
This servant girl presumes to save my soul.
You would do well to ponder what I've said.
Daughter, we'll disregard this dunderhead. Just trust your father's judgment. I'm aware that I once promised you to young Valere, but now I hear he gambles, which greatly shocks me. What's more, I have doubts about his orthodoxy. His visits to church, I note, are very few.
Would you have him go at the same hours as you and kneel nearby to be sure of being seen?
I can dispense with such remarks, Doreen. Tartuffe, however, is sure of heaven's blessing, and that's the only treasure worth possessing. This match will bring you joys beyond all measure. Your cup will overflow with every pleasure. You two shall interchange your faithful loves like two sweet cherubs or two turtle doves. No harsh word shall be heard, no frown be seen, and he shall make you happy as a queen.
And she'll make him a cuckold, just wait and see.
What language!
Oh, he's a man of destiny. He's made for horns. And what the stars demand, your daughter's virtue surely can't withstand.
Don't interrupt me further. Why can't you learn that certain things are none of your concern?
It's for your own sake that I interfere.
Most kind of you. Now hold your tongue, do you hear?
If I didn't love you,
spare me your affection.
I'll love you, sir, in spite of your objection.
Blast!
I can't bear, sir, for your honor's sake, to let you make this ludicrous mistake.
You mean to go on talking?
If I didn't protest this sinful marriage, my conscience couldn't rest.
If you don't hold your tongue, you little shrew.
What, lost your temper, a pious man like you?
Yes, yes. You talk and talk. I'm maddened by it. Once and for all, I tell you to be quiet.
Well, I'll be quiet, but I'll be thinking hard.
Think all you like, but you'd better guard that saucy tongue of yours or I'll... Now, child, I've weighed this matter fully.
It drives me wild that I can't speak.
Tartuffe is no young dandy, but still his person
Is as sweet as candy.
is such that even if you shouldn't care for his other merits,
They'll make a lovely pair. If I were she, no man would marry me against my own inclination and go scot-free. He'd learn before the wedding day was over how readily a wife can find a lover.
it seems you take my orders as a joke.
Why, what's the matter? 'Twas not to you I spoke.
What were you doing?
Talking to myself, that's all.
One more bit of impudence and gall, and I shall give her a good slap in the face. Daughter, you shall accept with good grace the husband I've selected. Your wedding day. Why do you not talk to yourself?
I've nothing to say.
Come, just one word.
No, thank you, sir. I pass.
Come, speak. I'm waiting.
I'd not be such an ass.
In short, dear daughter, I mean to be obeyed, and you must bow to the sound choice I've made.
I'd not wed such a monster, even in jest.
Daughter! That maid of yours is a thorough pest. She makes me sinfully annoyed and nettled. I can't speak further. My nerves are too unsettled. She so upset me by her insolent talk. I'll calm myself by going on a walk.
Well, have you lost your tongue, girl? Must I play your part and say the lines you ought to say? Faced with a fate so hideous and absurd, can you not utter one dissenting word?
What good would it do? A father's power is great.
Resist him now, or it will be too late.
But
Tell him one cannot love at a father's whim, that you must marry for yourself, not him. That since it's you who are to be the bride, it's you, not he, who must be satisfied. And that if his Tartuffe is so sublime, he's free to marry him at any time.
I've bowed so long to father's strict control, I couldn't oppose him now to save my soul.
Come, come, Marianne, do listen to reason, won't you? Molière has asked your hand. Do you love him or don't you?
Oh, how unjust of you. What can you mean by asking such a question, dear Doreen? You know the depth of my affection for him. I've told you 100 times how I adore him.
I don't believe in everything I hear. Who knows if your professions were sincere?
They were, Doreen, and you do me wrong to doubt it. Heaven knows I've been all too frank about it.
You love him then?
Oh, more than I can express.
And he, I take it, cares for you no less?
I think so.
And you both with equal fire burn to be married?
That is our one desire.
What of Tartuffe then? What of your father's plan?
I'll kill myself if I'm forced to wed that man.
I hadn't thought of that recourse. How splendid. Just die and all your troubles will be ended. A fine solution. Oh, it maddens me to hear you talk in that self-pitying key.
Oh. Doreen, how harsh you are. It's most unfair you have no sympathy for my despair.
I've none at all for people who talk drivel and, when faced with difficulties, whine and snivel.
No doubt I'm timid, but it would be wrong.
True love requires a heart that's firm and strong.
I'm strong in my affection for Molière, but coping with my father is his affair.
But if your father's brain has grown so cracked over his dear Tartuffe that he can retract his blessing, though your wedding day was named, it's surely not Molière who's to be blamed.
If I defied my father as you suggest, would it not seem unmaidenly at best? Shall I defend my love at the expense of brazenness and disobedience? Shall I parade my heart's desires and flaunt?
No, I ask nothing of you. Clearly, you want to be Madame Tartuffe, and I feel bound not to oppose a wish so very sound. What right have I to criticize the match? Indeed, my dear, the man's a brilliant catch. Monsieur Tartuffe. Now there's a man of weight. Yes, yes, Monsieur Tartuffe, I'm bound to state, is quite a person. That's not to be denied. 'Twill be no little thing to be his bride. The world already rings with his renown. He's a great noble in his native town. His ears are red, he has a pink complexion. All in all, he'll suit you to perfection.
Dear God.
Oh, how triumphant you will feel at having caught a husband so ideal.
Oh, do stop teasing and use your cleverness to get me out of this appalling mess. Advise me and I'll do whatever you say.
No, a dutiful daughter must obey her father, even if he weds her to an ape. You've a bright future. Why struggle to escape? Tartuffe will take you back where his family lives, to a small town, aswarm with relatives, uncles and cousins whom you'll be charmed to meet. You'll be received at once by the elite, calling upon the bailiff's wife, no less, even perhaps upon the mayoress, who will sit you down in the best kitchen chair. Then once a year, you'll dance at the village fair to the drone of bagpipes, 2 of them, in fact, and see a puppet show or an animal act. You're a husband.
Oh, you turn my blood to ice. Stop torturing me and give me your advice.
Your servant, madam.
Doreen, I beg of you.
No, you deserve it. This marriage must go through.
Doreen!
No.
Not Tartuffe. You know I think him.
Tartuffe's your cup of tea, and you shall drink him.
I've always told you everything and relied.
No, you deserve to be Tartuffified.
Well, since you mock me and refuse to care, I'll henceforth seek my solace in despair. Despair shall be my counselor and friend, and help me bring my sorrows to an end.
There now, come back. My anger has subsided. You do deserve some pity, I've decided.
Doreen, if father makes me undergo this dreadful martyrdom, I'll die, I know.
Don't fret. It won't be difficult to discover some plan of action, but here's Valere, your lover.
Madam, I've just received some wondrous news regarding which I'd like to hear your views.
What news?
You're marrying Tartuffe?
I find that father does have such a match in mind.
Your father?
Has just this minute said that it's Tartuffe he wishes me to wed.
Can he be serious?
Oh, indeed he can. He's clearly set his heart upon the plan.
And what position do you propose to take, madam?
Why, I don't know.
For heaven's sake, you don't know?
No.
Well, well.
Advise me, do.
Marry the man. That's my advice to you.
That's your advice?
Yes.
Truly.
Oh, absolutely. You couldn't choose more wisely, more astutely.
Thanks for this counsel. I'll follow it, of course.
Do. I'm sure it will cost you no remorse.
To give it didn't cause your heart to break.
I gave it, madam, only for your sake.
And it is for your sake that I take it, sir.
Let's see which fool will prove the stubborner.
So, I am nothing to you, and it was flat deception when you...
Please, enough of that. You've told me plainly that I should agree to wed the man my father's chosen for me. And since you've deigned to counsel me so wisely, I promise, sir, to do as you advise me.
Ah, no, 'twas not by me that you were swayed. No, your decision was already made, though now, to save appearances, you protest that you're betraying me at my behest.
Just as you say.
Quite so, and I now see that you were never truly in love with me.
Alas, you're free to think so if you choose.
I choose to think so. And here's a bit of news. You've spurned my hand, but I know where to turn for kinder treatment, as you shall quickly learn.
I'm sure you do. Your noble qualities inspire affection.
Forget my qualities, please. They don't inspire you overmuch, I find. But there's another lady I have in mind, whose sweet and generous nature will not scorn to compensate me for the loss I've borne.
I'm no great loss, and I'm sure you'll transfer your heart quite painlessly from me to her.
I'll do my best to take it in my stride. The pain I feel at being cast aside, time and forgetfulness may put an end to. Or if I forget, I shall pretend to. No self-respecting person is expected to go on loving once he's been rejected.
Now that's a fine, high-minded sentiment.
One to which any sane man would assent. Would you prefer it if I pined away in hopeless passion till my dying day? Am I to yield you to Orion's arms and not console myself with other charms?
Go then, console yourself, don't hesitate. I wish you to, indeed, I cannot wait.
You wish me to?
Yes.
That's the final straw. Madam, farewell. Your wish shall be my law.
Splendid.
This breach, remember, is of your making. It's you who's driven me to the step I'm taking.
Of course.
Remember, too, I'm merely following your example.
I see that clearly.
Enough. I'll go and do your bidding then.
Good.
You shall never see my face again.
Excellent.
Yes?
What?
What's that? What did you say?
Nothing, you're dreaming.
Ah. Well, I'm on my way. Farewell, madame.
Farewell.
If you ask me, both of you are as mad can be. Do stop this nonsense, now. I've only let you squabble so long to see where it would get you. Whoa there, Monsieur Valère.
What's this story?
Come here.
No, my heart's too full of spleen. Don't hold me back. Her wish must be obeyed.
Stop.
It's too late now. My decision's made.
Oh, pooh.
He hates the sight of me, that's plain. I'll go and so deliver him from pain.
And now you run away. Come back.
No, nothing you say will keep me here. Let go.
She cannot bear my presence, I perceive. To spare her further torment, I shall leave.
Again? You'll not escape, sir. Don't you try it. Come here, you two. Stop fussing and be quiet.
What do you want of me?
What is the point of this?
We're going to have a little armistice. Now, weren't you silly to get so overheated?
Didn't you see how badly I was treated?
Aren't you a simpleton to have lost your head?
Didn't you hear the hateful things he said?
You're both great fools. Her sole desire, Valère, is to be yours in marriage. To that I'll swear. He loves you only and wants no wife but you, Marianne. On that I'll stake my life.
Then why you advise me so I cannot see?
On such a question, why ask advice of me?
Oh, you're impossible. Give me your hands, you two. Yours first.
But why?
And now a hand from you.
What are you doing?
There. A perfect fit. You suit each other better than you'll admit.
Come, don't be so haughty. Give a man a look of kindness, won't you, Marianne?
I tell you, lovers are completely mad.
Now, come, confess that you were very bad to hurt my feelings as you did just now. I have a just complaint you must allow.
You must allow that you were most unpleasant when you...
Let's table that discussion for the present. Your father has a plan which must be stopped.
Advise us then. What means must we adopt?
We'll use all manner of means and all at once. Your father's addled. He's acting like a dunce. Therefore, you'd better humor the old fossil. Pretend to yield to him, be sweet and docile, and then postpone as often as necessary the day on which you've agreed to marry. You'll thus gain time, and time will turn the trick. Sometimes, for instance, you'll be taken sick, and that will seem a good reason for delay. Or some bad omen will make you change the day. You'll dream of muddy water, or you'll pass a dead man's hearse, or break a looking glass. If all else fails, no man will marry you unless you take his ring and say, I do. But now, let's separate. If they should find us talking here, our plot might be divined. Go to your friends and tell them what's occurred, and have them urge her father to keep his word. Meanwhile, we'll stir her brother into action and get Elmire as well to join our faction. Goodbye.
Though each of us will do his best, it's on your true heart that my hope shall rest.
Regardless of what father may decide, none but Valere shall claim me as his bride.
Oh, how those words content me. Come what will.
Oh, lovers, their tongues are never still. Be off now.
One last word.
No time to chat. You leave by this way, and you leave by that.